Hello, everyone. This is Lunch with Laura. I am Laura Lee Collet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I started doing this live, I guess about a little over a year ago, and I've just enjoyed it so much, and I hope you have too, and that you're learning things and trying new and different things. Well, this is a great day to stamp. We're having some rain and wind here in Baton Rouge. So let's get to it and see what we're going to do today. Okay, do you ever need to take time for yourself? I know we all do, and my bet is that you're just like me and don't really do that enough. We're always doing for other people, so sometimes it's just time to do something for yourself. And this card that I'm going to show you today, we're using In the Moment. It's one of the new sets that is in the January-June mini catalog. And it's on page 57. There are 3 images of girls. One's drinking coffee, one's drinking wine, and one's reading, snuggled up with her puppy. That looks like me. Then the sentiments, I think, really say it all. You're in my thoughts. That could be a challenging time in someone's life. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. Do you have days sometimes where you got lots to do and just can't seem to get anything done? Well, maybe this is the time that you just need to relax. Read a book, look at a magazine, look at the Stampin' Up! Catalog. And then this one is the one we're going to use today. Well, no, we may use the relax, but the one that I used on this card was you're always so good to others. Be good to yourself too. And I am choosing the gal that is standing along a rail. She might be at the beach or just relaxing on her patio. She's got a glass of wine in her hand. And I just figured 5 o'clock, you needed to have a sunset. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And let's see what all we're going to use in this for this card. I'm using a neutral shade called Sahara Sand. It is, okay, before I forget, here is the host code that now you can see it. From February, when you go to my website, stampin'atthebirdnest.com, and check out, you can put in your February host code. If you want to email me for any reason, there's my email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, as I was saying, I'm using Sahara Sand today, one of our neutral colors, and I just cut it in half at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now we're going to turn this one so that it's going to be a landscape card. So it'll open this way. I was lucky enough that I had some designer series paper left over from the Sand and Sea. And it uses some of the colors that are in here. And I found this one and just thought that that would be great for the background piece for this particular card. But if you don't have anything that'll work, you could use a blue. You could use a white and just sponge in a little blue or different colors. Or you could do what I'm going to show you how to do coming up. You're also going to need a blue, balmy blue piece. I'm sorry, this is Pool Party that is 4 by 4. you're going to need 2 vanilla 4x4 pieces. And then you're going to need a scrap for your sentiment here. I'm also using these are retired set. It's called Circle Collections. It's one I have, and I do not have the other, let me see what it's called. The other set of dies that, let's see if I can find it. Okay, Layering Circles is the one that's in the catalog and is current right now. One set has scallops, and the other is just the circle with no scallops. So I'm using what I have, and I'm going to be using the larger of the circles to cut out the blue, and then the next size for the background. Now, I'm going to set that aside. Here they are. Okay, I've already got our stamps mounted. This is a clear set, not a photopolymer, but a clear, and I'm going to stamp with my Tuxedo Memento Black. And I want to be sure that I ink this up real well. And just stamp in the middle. You're going to do this twice. Okay, so one of these is going to be used for the background. Let's look at our card again. So one of them is going to be used for the background. And then the other one, we're going to color in the little gal and cut her out. Okay, I'm using my blending brushes that comes through to a set. And if I had rinsed these right away, most of that color would come out. But it doesn't transfer, so it doesn't really matter. The first color I'm using is our Pool Party, and I'm just going to rub it around and kind of start off. And you just keep adding until you get the color that you want it to be. Now you can see the color starting to show up a little bit. But remember, this is kind of like the microwave. If you do too much, you can't take it away. So start off light and then just keep adding until you get the color you want. Okay, so that's going to be our blue sky. Next, I'm going to put Blushing Bride. This is a great go-to pink. And I'm going to overlap it just a little bit with the blue. Okay, so see how it's starting to show up? And then the last color I'm going to use is our Daffodil Delight. And I am changing the brushes each time. You would need to wipe it on a cloth before changing it, or it might transfer your first color on there. Okay, so let's see if that's, okay, in my original card I did the pink a little deeper. And the blue too. So let's go back. I think we've got enough of the yellow. I'll do just a little bit more there. So you can play with it until you get the look you want. So this was my pink one. And I'll just do it a little bit darker. Okay. And then the blue I left open because I thought I might come back. Okay. So now we have our background done. Now, if you don't have a piece of DSP or something that you want to use that's, you know, colored like this, like a sunset, you can easily just pick two, or you can do the same colors if you want to for the whole background, and it would be just as pretty. I'm going to set that one aside, and I'm going to start coloring the little gal on this one. So I'm going to start with the lighter color. I'm using Real Red for her hat. These are our blends. They come 2 to a pack, and light and dark so that you can do some shading. Okay. And I'm going to use the small end to do just a little shading around here, a little on the top of her hat. So can you see how that's starting to look? Next, I'm going to do her blue dress, and I didn't want it to be the same as the pool party, so I'm using, oh, I love this color, it's Balmy Blue. And again, I'm going to start with the light color and kind of go around her hair, do the sleeve, and you can go all the way down. And remember, this is going to be cut into a circle. So, now, okay, I might color that down just a little bit more. Make sure we get it all. And I'm going to come in and do a little shading here too, like around the waist of her dress. And as I've told you before, I am not the greatest when it comes to shading, but you can see how it's done. Okay, I picked Cherry Cobbler for her glass of wine. I did that. And I'm going to color the banister this time. I didn't do it on the other one, but I think I'll do it on, well, I need to, let's see, I need to do it on this one. We'll come back and do that in a minute. Okay, also, Stampin' Up! Has come out with the flesh-colored blends. They're 2 in a set, and it pretty much covers any shade of skin that you'd want to use. So I'm just going to put her and we need to do her hair. So let's do her hair brown. And she's got curly hair. Now this comes out really dark. So if you don't want it to be that dark, use the lighter Sahara sand. Okay, you can still see the little curls through there. Now, I am going to cut out my 2 pieces, and I'll do that right quick and be right back. I'm a noisy customer. cut those out before I got started today and I got distracted. So here's our background. That's going to go on top. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down. Put this down. Okay. And I learned this technique from one of the demonstrators at one of our on-stage or backstage convention. We've been meeting virtually, unfortunately, and when they're always showing us stuff, and we're always excited to learn something new and different. So now, what I'm going to do, and I know this is going to make those of you that don't like to fussy cut unhappy, but all you're going to do is just cut out your little girl, and it's really easy to do. And like I always teach you, when you get into a tight spot, take little bites, and then you can go around and take bigger bites. And if you need to, come back and trim like I do there at her elbow. I'll come back and catch that. I'm just going to get her hat. And go around her curly hair. And then we'll get this elbow in. Let's see how, okay. I was checking to make sure y'all were seeing that on Facebook. Okay, then I'm going to get the last part of her dress. And come back. And I forgot that I needed to cut this with the, I should have cut that when I cut the first one. So I can go back and do that and just get the end of that. But I'm not going to bore you with me leaving again. Okay, so I'm going to go, and I'm not going to pop her up. I'm just going to use our snail. And now I can come back and fix that. So there you have your little girl, and you can see how the background shows. And once you put your card all together, and I have to tell you that we were given this set by Stampin' Up. They give us a lot of stuff that's really cool, but this is not really my style of stamp set, but I've enjoyed doing it, and it's so much fun. So I'm going to put her there, and then on this side I'm going to put our little sentiment that says to relax. So I'm going to use our soft suede. Let's see. I'm going to do that again. It didn't come out quite as dark as I wanted it to. There we go. And I'm going to use one of our punches. This is the rectangular postage stamp, And it's just like the stamps that you get at the post office with that little notched edge. And it's in the current annual catalog, and the price is $18. Now, I am going to center that. I like to turn my my punches upside down most of the time so that you can see where you're punching and get it exactly right. Now my dimensionals, I'm going to use them to attach and I've cut these all around. Don't throw your scraps away, those are great to use. Okay. And for some reason it's not peeling off the back like it's supposed to. So I'm going to have to peel both sides. But it still works well. And this will just give a little pop to your picture, make it stand out and give a little 3D, which I know you know I love dimensionals. I use them on almost everything I do. Okay. So there we go. And I'm going to put her right there. I'm going to use some more dimensionals on our sentiment. There we go. I think 2 will hold this just fine. And here you have sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to relax. Now, I did say I was going to color the banister. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to take the thin end for the little banister pieces, or I don't know what you call it, spindles, and the darker one for here. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Now, the only thing missing, we need to put some little sparkles on. I ran totally out of the iridescent rhinestones. So I'm using here they are, just our regular basic rhinestones. And did you know that you can color these? Let's do, I'm just going to let it dry for a minute, and I'll put that one over by her glass of wine. And maybe do a blue one, and then we'll just leave one. But if you just let them dry, then it will not come off with the blends, which I love to use. So here's my take your pick. I'm going to do just, oops, that one got away from me. A plain one over here, except I get one on my finger. There we go. Well, hello, that one doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. All right, here's the blue one that I'll put down here. And I'll put her pink one over here by her glass of wine. But anyway, that just shows you I probably would either use one color or just leave them clear. But that gives you an idea of what you can do by decorating your rhinestones to any color that you want. So that takes care of that. Now on the inside of our card, let's see what I'm going to do. I think I will put the other saying in there that just says, you're always so good to others, be good to yourself too. And I'm going to use my little centering mat just to give me an eyeball of where I'm going. And I think I showed you this last week, where you mark your center, and I used a piece of grid paper, and then I outlined so that you could put your card this way if it's portrait, or this way if it's landscape. So I'm going to do it right there, and I'm going to use the the soft suede again, the ink, and ink this up real good. And let's make sure sometimes it's a good thing to test, make sure that your ink is all over your stamp. And then using this center line and this line here. Oops, and I got a little goof there. That's okay. So there you have your relaxing card to share with someone. And I also wanted to show you a different card that I made with the same set. And on this one, I used Versamark to and sprinkle the embossing powder and heat set it. Then, if you can tell, the book, the pillow, her socks, the puppy, I went with a little bit of our chalk marker, or you could use your white watercolor pencil just to give it a subtle look to stand out. I also stamped the relax on Night of Navy and embossed it in white also. Last week I shared with you how to do the vellum in the embossing folder. So that was the background for this, and I just had a piece of DSP underneath. So it just gives it a nice subtle look. So there's another one to relax and read a book. So I hope this has given you some ideas on how to use this set, or if not this set, now you know how to make a pretty background that'll go with your sentiments and the things that you want to highlight in this on this card. So I've used the 3 colors, but like I said, you could use 2, and it's just a lot of fun to use the blending brushes and see what comes out with that. So I'm going to say goodbye now. If you have any questions or you need to comment, I would love to hear what you have to say. Be kind, and my Gmail email is to Bobette. Bobette is my grandmother name, and it's spelled BEAUBET@gmail.com. So to Bobette@gmail. And if you'd like to place an order, the website is right there on the screen, stampin@thebirdnest.com. Be sure to put in your host code. And if you have anything that you would like to share with me, or you would like me to demonstrate, I always love to have people ask me. And if it's something I don't know, I'll just learn and teach it back to you. That's where my teaching through stamping comes in. Well, I've enjoyed this, and I hope you have too. See you next week with another fun-filled Lunch with Laura, with some tips and techniques to share with you. Take care and have a great week. Love you. Bye.